Welcome, another episode of the Wheat and White Bread. What's going on, Wheat? What's going on, White Bread? My bad, man.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right.
My mind is gone, y'all. We got a heavy one today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's start over.
Yeah, we start over. Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of that Wheat and White Bread. Man, glad y'all with us. What to do, White Bread?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We have a pretty good one today. The topic of the day today is going to be problems and solutions. The case of our society and the problems that we have in our society.
We got a shitload of them, White Bread.
One of the biggest. This is one of the reasons why me and my boy Wheat Bread here have decided to do this podcast, because of all of our problems. And I'm going to talk about a few of them today, but there's many more that we're not going to be able to touch on. But moving from the white privilege, we're going to move right into this Buffalo shooting, and obviously this is something that's been a problem in society for a while. These mass shootings have been a problem.
Time out, White Bread. Now, long before we even started this journey, not to take my disguise off of this, so my man will know I'm being real with him. But long before we started the podcast journey, y'all, I've been telling him, and White Bread has really been vigilant about trying to see the best in society, because he knows that he and I interact, we socialize, however you call it, and he don't see the real reality that Wheat Bread see every day. So when I've been telling you the whole time, White Bread, that the majority of the things that happen is to keep Black people scared and to exterminate Black people, regardless. This is my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, well,
this is my opinion, where I come from, how I view life, how I see life. It's only one group of people that I believe live in fear. Whether they fear a lot of things is two different things, but they do have apprehensions about a lot of life that most people don't even have to acknowledge, because life just is worth living when they wake up. And when I saw this Buffalo shooting, I hit him up and I was like, bro, we got to do this one. Because I saw a lady on there who looks like one of the mothers at my church back in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit here and feel like this wasn't done premeditated. You drove 200 plus miles.
Oh, it was definitely a hate crime. 100%. They've already classified it.
I know, but classifying it, and whether he's going to get a Kyle Rittenhouse jury.
No, this isn't a self-defense. This isn't.
I understand, but I know one thing: he has the complexion for the connection. When it's all said and done, because when they spoke about it this morning on national TV, they tried to say he's just a child. He's just a kid.
18 years old.
I know,
no,
but this is what the white news anchor said. White Bread. He's just a kid.
Yeah.
You let a 17-year-old clean-cut brother go up in one of these white churches or one of these predominantly white shopping districts and go and kill 10 white people? First of all, he'll be lucky to make it out of there alive, period. That's first.
Yeah.
They got on the news bragging about how they were able to talk him down, and he surrendered.
I made a podcast about, I made a TikTok about this earlier, how this man, 18 years old, I'm going to call him a man. He's not a man, he's a little bitch.
Call it what it is, White.
He's a bitch. But listen, this is what I made a TikTok about earlier. It's not amazing to me, but it's just another example of white privilege, that you had this man show up at a grocery store and body 10 people. The police show up and his body's on the ground. There's no doubt that this dude shot people.
With body armor.
With body armor on and tactical gear and all kind of shit.
Hold on. Shout out to the security guard, who lost his life, because I did security. And he shot at that man, and they said that the bullet ricocheted off of his body armor back onto him, shot him and killed him.
I don't know about that.
Shout out to you, sir. Hey, we'll look it up. Go ahead.
We'll read up on that. But listen, now the thing is, again, shout out to the security guard who tragically lost his life, because this guy is a fucking psychopath. And it's fueled by these propaganda and these lies, and we're going to get into this. This is a problem and a solution. We're talking about this is what,
right.
There's a lot of problems that are tied onto this one incident that plague our society. But I want to get back before we move forward on that. You mentioned something earlier that your opinion was that the United States government was trying to eliminate and exterminate Black people. Well, I agree with you on that and there's proof, because I pulled up this article, and the title of the article is "How the Nazis Used Jim Crow Laws as the Model for Their Race Laws."
The model.
And it's documented that Adolf Hitler sent lawyers and people over here to study the Jim Crow laws because he was fascinated about how effective they were at eliminating one race of people from society and how effective the laws were at keeping them down and basically making them so they're never part of society to start. And he used the principles of the Jim Crow laws, I mentioned this before, as the basis for the Nuremberg papers, which was ultimately the documents that led to the Nazis trying to exterminate the Jews. So he used the Jim Crow laws, and he thought that some of the laws were too harsh. The one drop of blood rule.
Yeah, that
was a law.
Yeah.
If a white person, and they trace back their family roots, a quote unquote white person, I don't know what a white person is, but we talk about that too, but a quote unquote white person if they trace back their family tree and one drop of Black blood, they could not marry a white person. And even Hitler thought that was too harsh. So that's why the United States has not one leg to stand on. They don't have a moral high ground to stand on when they talk to these other countries about how they treat their citizens. Because the United States history about how they treat their own citizens, if you're not a straight white male, you've been fucked with in this country.
You know some white bread, I'm gonna jump in there with you.
Go ahead.
You know, I just got to say something, man. You know, first of all, shout out to the cool white people, man, that I do know. Those who I haven't came in contact with, who know that you're good, who know that you're straight, know that you know how to mix and mingle. You don't live your life in fear. You're not worried about being around somebody just because they don't share the same hue as you. You know, shout out to you first. But I do have a very big problem with the white people who do make decisions for the people. And I have to say this because you don't fuck with these Negroes anyway. You don't fuck with us anyway. Nope. I mean, all bullshit to the side, you don't. I don't give a damn how much education we go obtain. I don't give a damn how many degrees, trades we go and pick up. I don't care how many languages that we can speak. It means nothing. And you're hell-bent on making sure a person feels the exact same way about themselves. And you spare no expense to preach lie after lie. You teach foreigners before you bring them here and give them citizenship and put them in positions that they are not supposed to be in, especially over me and my people. And then you still play a game. I hope that you pray. I hope, regardless of what you believe in. Because one thing about karma, it's a bitch, and it comes back. Whether it affects you directly, your children, or your friend, or your coworker, or something that means something to you.
Yep.
It comes back. You sit here and you teach people to hate us for what? Okay, everybody got bad people in their ethnic group.
Everybody.
Fuck. Everybody got junkies. Everybody got alcoholics. Everybody has opiate addicts. Everybody's
got criminals. Everybody's got criminal masterminds. Everybody's got drug traffickers. Everybody's got child traffickers. Everybody has every ethnic group has horrible people in it. But it seems to me like we've talked about this in the past. This is what's portrayed. Like we talked about this when Ukraine. We were talking about we looked at the website. We looked at the Peace Corps, and they had to warn
the Negroes,
African-American Black people who were volunteering to go to Ukraine
to help.
They had to warn them that the perception of the Ukrainian people is that
you got to be cool with being called a nigger or a fucking monkey.
Because their perception is that you guys are criminals, you guys are drug addicts, because these are the only depictions that are portrayed to them.
Listen, hold on, white bread. Let me help him. Let me help him. So in other words, what he's saying, y'all, overseas, like we might have to wait, I don't know, 2-3 months before we see Juice or Boys in the Hood or something like that to pop on TV. You know, they play it all day overseas. They feed the narrative. They watching, in too deep.
Let me ask you a question.
All of this shit. Go ahead.
Do you think that people in Ukraine feel the same way about all black people from all countries?
Man, they feel the same way about all black people. All
you
us.
Think it's just limited to American black
And let me
people?
say this. I ain't talking about no damn people of color. The gig is up. I don't rock with it because I'm not a person of color. I've been here long before that term got here, long before, man, the word African-American got here. Telling my age, but so. I mean, damn, we got to cut the bullshit, man. If you don't fuck with them black folks, man, you don't fuck with them niggas, then why the hell do you take their money?
Right.
If you don't fuck with them, then why you take their money? Folks are so fucking hell-bent on turning up their nose when they see injustice, but they swear that they are about fairness. They go for all of the groups. They go for all of the NRAs. They go for the Black Lives Matter. They go for all of that bullshit. All of them fake-ass spokespersons who supposed to speak for them broke motherfuckers out the hood who they don't fuck with either. What?
No.
Hold on. I'm almost through, white bread.
Go ahead.
So, for this man right here to go inside the store, you killed beautiful souls, brother.
Yeah.
You killed angels, brother. You took rocks out of people's family, man. Ain't no downplaying the situation in my book.
There is no downplaying this. This is, and you know what's sad is
I'm sorry, y'all.
You know what's fucked up, Memphis is sorry. You know what's fucked up, We've read is after Kyle Rittenhouse. This is like I think this is just like the new way domestic terrorism is gonna be. This is the way that like the Taliban goes around and like blows up a car in the middle of a fucking mall and kills like 10, 12, 15 people.
Yeah.
But they'll have somebody go with a vest and strap and blow this shit. Well, this is what I think this is this is going to be happening now, because we're going to talk about this, but this whole great replacement theory and this whole white fragility and this whole fucking bullshit that they're pushing and all these TV personalities like Tucker Carlson and these GOP senators who we're going to talk about, Liz Cheney calling out all of them, because they're normalizing this shit. They're bringing this shit into the mainstream. And the reason why this man did what he did is he laid it all out on papers, because he's a white man who's fragile, must suck to be that fragile, but he's fragile and he's scared. And he's scared that he's going to be replaced. And he's scared that his kids are going to be replaced and that his people are going to be replaced, because that's what everyone's saying. But the fact of the matter is, this world is only occupied by 18% white people, but they seem to control most of the shit. So like you said, the gig is up. The gig is fucking up, and they are fighting against the gig is up.
White bread, the problem that the thing that I really believe in my heart of hearts.
Yeah.
For one, they make sure that it's seen because they really want black people to pop off so they can do what they really want to do, because it won't be a hard problem to get a group of white people over here, a group of white people over there, and they all form up as one big major group, and then they divide off and they start their way. And once again, the government will pave the way, passing law after law to make things okay so we can civilize society. But if these people are so uncivil, if these people are so nothing, if these people are so much beast, if we are just nothing, then why the hell do you won't let black people have nothing of their own without you feeling like you need your hand in it? anything that a black person does try to do that's going to benefit his people, he must allow everybody else to take part in it, or you're not going to fuck with it. You know what I mean? The black millionaires we got out the ghetto, they can't bring their money together to save their community if they wanted to. It's a problem. But then though you sit here and you kill their cousins, you kill the people who these people went to school with, it's no problem. They've been killing Indians ever since they got here. That's the only group of people that they killed on national TV. And they still killing them now. And so you wonder who the Indians I'm talking about? Since they want to try to say, oh, they doing this to people of color. I ain't seen nobody go up in there and shoot up Mexicans, man. They ain't running up in no fucking Mexican supermarket. I know 3-4 of them around the way. They ain't running up in the Asian market shooting Asians. Yeah, they did have a shooting, you know what I'm saying, at the Asian church, but it was done by another fellow Asian man. Yeah. Okay? Stop acting like these black folk going around here, man, doomsday, man. That's a fucking lie. Everything that makes money, we put our hand on it, or it ain't worth it. Let's keep it real. You want to know where the money lie? You looking at the skin. The only problem is you're old black folks and you don't want to break bread and you'd rather keep your foot on a motherfucking nigga's throat. George Floyd him out.
Well, I mentioned this.
We're going to see who's going to be the toughest.
Well, I mentioned this earlier. I made a tick. Circling back to the point of white.
I'm sorry, y'all, but that had to be said for them 10 lives, man, that was lost unjustly, didn't have no reason. White bread, man, spoke on it on his TikTok. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I fuck with him. Well, because he actually give a shit. Well, he actually care, man.
Well, the video,
and there's more white people like him the same way. They're just scattered out. And those who do give a shit, who live around those same individuals who they care so much for, don't know how to reach out. So they'll stay to themselves. And I understand and I respect it. You know. So what was that thing? Hold on. So what was that thing that you said that they said he used? What was that term that he used to justify killing?
Great replacement theory.
The great replacement theory. What is that, white bread? Do you know what that is?
I do. Well, I'm just starting to learn about it because the great replacement philosophy, I guess it's a theory, was adopted by it's a white supremacist thing. It's basically
what is white supremacy though, white bread? This is what I want to know.
What do I think it is?
Yeah, what do you think white supremacy really means?
White supremacy is basically a tool that it's basically a philosophy that white people feel like they're superior to all other races and ethnic backgrounds, and this has been going on since the Nazi days. Like that's why.
So it's a teaching.
It's basically a school of thought. Okay. So it's a school of thought that white people are superior to all others. So hence we have to control everybody, and this is why there's so many laws in this country with control now, and that they're all passed by white people. Look at all the people that are passing all these bills, anti-LGBTQ bills, anti-abortion bills, anti-racial bills, great replacement theory. Who are the spokespeople on this? Tucker Carlson, Tom Cotton, Ted Cruz, fucking douchebag Josh Hawley. These are all white boys. All these old white dudes. These are the people who are fearful that they're losing control. And when they lose control, they're going to lose money. And this is what this is all. It's all about money and control. The gig, like you said, people are starting to see the gig. They've been seeing it for a long time, but we haven't progressed as a society far enough to actually, say the official gig, the gig is up. Yeah. Because there's too much money involved. And when there's an imbalance of wealth, like we talked about earlier in this country, where the top 5% have like 88% of the money. Yeah. And the bottom 95% have 12% of the money, well, then how can the bottom 95% fight against the top 5?
Especially if they won't work together.
They won't. The government works for the top 5%, no matter if you're Democrat, Republican, whatever. The only thing that I see.
Say that one more time for them, white bread.
That's just money.
Hey, the government works for one more time.
The government works for the top 5%, and there's top 5, and in the top 5%, there's Democrats, there's Republicans,
Get what that mean, white people. Get what that mean, white people. We all cooking in the same.
The bottom 95% of people in this
we all cooking together, man.
Are all in the same pot as far as when it comes down to money.
We got to leave that dumb shit alone.
We got to unite and show these motherfuckers who is really in charge of this country. Honestly, because they forgot.
What you said, white bread.
They forgot, and we need to remind them in the voting booth who runs this fucking country.
What you said.
And you got to hold people accountable for their actions. And the actions of these people who are echoing this fucking great replacement theory, like there's so many examples. This has been going on for years, but now they're bringing it into the mainstream. They're grasping. They're looking for the next fucking soundbite that they can attract money. This is all about money. They want people to donate to them. And there's a lot of rich white supremacists who love that these politicians are up there spitting this bullshit. And they're willing to give them money. They got millions. These people got old white money. And there is no more
they got gold. They got gold and silver notes.
White money.
I'm telling you.
All right.
They took everything they got from a motherfucker looking like me.
They took everything. They took everything from everybody who's not in their club, to be honest. You know, they just were, very, very, at least with white people, they at least paid them wages.
No, you know what it boils down to me, white bread. I done told you this before. White people can also be in a position where they don't like another white person. They really can hate his motherfucking guts.
I don't like a lot of white people.
But guess what? The only difference is that they got my people separated on. White people can still sit down at the table and do business together when it comes down to that money, like you just said. Because it's all about the money.
That's what's all about,
with them. It's about the money with us.
Control.
But we want money under any circumstance because we've been so used to being fucked up.
You had mentioned the other day that we were talking about wages. The difference between an average man's wage and an average woman's wage. I want to know what the average wage difference is between white men and black men. Because you said yourself, man, $53,000 is the median income for a man in the United States. And you said, I ain't never seen 53 G's.
And I done been working all my life, boss. I's tired, boss. I's walk some soles off some boots, boss.
Well, so we're gonna get back to my original point, the TikTok that I made. I made a TikTok earlier saying that it's fucked up that this man showed up, had bodies on the ground. The police show up, and like you said, they talked to him. They got him to take off his gear and surrender. And he didn't even have a hair on his head misplaced. Now, then I said, well, George Floyd supposedly committed a crime. They never found the fake fucking $20 bill. Supposedly committed a crime, and he got murdered in the street like he was less than a fucking human being. And a black man supposedly committed a crime, and you got a white man who just murdered 10 fucking people. And the black man who supposedly committed a crime is dead, and the white boy who just murdered 10 fucking people walks out in handcuffs without a fucking hair on his head misplaced.
And you know what? It's cool. This is why we do this show, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I rock with white bread. Because, like I said, this is not just for show, y'all. This is what it really is with us.
There needs to be a change. This is fucking bullshit.
It's bullshit.
So something needs to change. Our legislators, our leaders have to step up and pass legislation to protect our fucking rights and protect people from getting fucked with.
When you condition people and when these same racist motherfuckers that we talking about,
they need to put this motherfucker to death on fucking pay-per-view. Seriously, they need to make an example of this fool. I ain't even playing. We talked about earlier. This dude killed 10 people who meant something. The stories of these people are amazing. And they're all gone now. Why? Because some dude some dude was about his feelings. His white fragility led him to it.
What I always preach, white bread, is power in words. I live by that. it's power in words, and we can speak life and death into people. And you never know who looks up to you, you know. And this gentleman somebody probably just told him about it and spoke on it in a way that convicted that young man and made him sit down and saw life one way. Didn't look at the possibilities are endless because you're a young 18-year-old white kid, man, boy.
And he wanted to kill many more.
And you wanted to go slaughter black folk, man.
He wanted to.
You want. How Major Payne said, "You want me gone, boy." I said, "Do you want me gone, soldier?" But I guarantee you this: for our men and women who are in the military, you ask some of those people who have survived war, and those same black folk, them same colored folk, them same N-words. Them same ones saved their life. Them same ones came back for them, wouldn't leave them behind, or cut their right arm off.
In every major war that we've been in, by the way, including the fucking Civil War,
made them fight against each other at that. But I'm gonna say, I really hate that situation happened. I don't want to see black people singing, "We shall overcome." Save your money. They trying to weave us out anyway, so save your money. You know, all you got to do is save some money.
This shit like
because you have to beat them economically. You can't. We are too divided for us to put up a physical front. So hang it up. That ain't happening. White people who want to kill black people because you feel like they're going to do, you can hang it up.
I made a TikTok about what type of prison this fucking guy should go to.
Man, just put his ass in regular gin pop. Mm-hmm. Throw his ass right over there with them gangster niggas. Since you hate black people so bad, hey, this is for the warden, whoever. Hey, you can ask any black person. You can ask them folks' family members. They'll probably take that plea deal. You say have a public execution, so just throw them in the gin pot.
I was just that would never happen.
I know it, and this would never happen. But just throw his ass in gin pot, and you tell him, if you make it out, you be in there for 24 hours. We gonna drop all charges, but can't nobody come save you now.
Well, I mean,
you got to fight your way out there, motherfucker, bro. You got to come like Too Sweet off penitentiary.
No, this is what I'm thinking, right? So I made it again. People know I'm on TikTok, so I made a TikTok about sexual offenders, people who not just children, anybody who rapes somebody. Because you rape somebody, you choose to do that to somebody. Well, you're gonna ruin that person for the rest of their life. They're always gonna think about that. Okay. So I said that there's a special prison that they should go to because the first room that you go in, you should be in 2 rooms. 12 hours a day in each room. The first room that you go in is the most uncomfortable fucking room you've ever seen in your life. You can't stand up straight. You can't sit down on the ground. There's rocks on the floor. You can't lean up against the wall. There's nails all sticking out of the fucking walls. You can't do anything. You can't sit. You can't stand. You can't sit down. All you're going to do is crouch over. You're going to hang from the ceiling. You can't do anything. The rocks are embedded into the concrete. They're sharp, jagged fucking rocks. You can't sit down. Then, after you leave that fucking cell, you go into the next cell. And the next cell that you're in, the bed is so cold that you can't lay on it for more than 5 minutes.
What is that?
But you got no blankets. You got no blanket. You got no fucking blankets, right? The bed is so cold that you can't lay on it for more than 10 minutes. And then the floor, you got no shoes either. No shoes when you're in this room. The floor is hot as the fucking pavement when it's 105 degrees out. You can't stand on it. You can't sit on it. You can't do nothing. You're going to spend 12 hours in that room because you're going to live the rest of your fucking life as a miserable motherfucker.
Yeah.
As a miserable motherfucker. Him going into Gen Pop and getting killed the first day is too easy. Fuck that. That's not enough of a fucking penalty. There needs to be some just like, this is going to be, obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are very passionate about this. I'm talking about white supremacists. You see what they've been willing to do throughout the history of this country, Memphis.
That's because
they're still lynching people.
That's because they got the government.
We talked about Jelani Day. Jelani Day got fucking lynched.
The government got these groups backs.
That's okay.
It ain't the people.
And this is why Liz fucking Cheney called out all her fucking constituents, because they have blood on this. These 10 people's blood are on these people's hands. They're on their hands. The House GOP, she says, Liz Cheney, I will give Liz Cheney credit. This chick's got a set of balls bigger than a lot of people sitting up on that Capitol fucking hill. And she said the House GOP leadership has enabled white nationalism, white supremacy, and anti-Semitism. History has taught us that what begins with words ends in far worse. GOP leaders must renounce and reject these views and those who hold them. They never will.
And it'll never happen, man.
You know why? Because I said earlier, white supremacists, some of them are extremely wealthy, and they donate a tremendous amount of money to these motherfuckers super PACs. And that's why they all got their back, because it's who's paying them.
White bread, I'm going to say this. I told White bread this probably about 2 years ago. Me, him, and his wife were talking about something similar to this. And you remember I told you, I said, to me, those same old white men that you're speaking of, they played their hand wrong a long time ago. Because if you already know the greatness of these people, you know that you want to hold on to them and you want to keep them close. You got to make sure that, you milk the greatness for yourself so you can reap that benefit for you and your bloodline and your family. So when it came time after you got fed and everybody's eating well and you got shit set up, you still didn't even consider coming to the table with them same black folk who, especially along my generational line, we were brought up with respect. And we respect white people. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you took their meekness for weakness. All you had to do was sit down and say, well, we know you guys, pretty much been owning your own stuff, so you understand management, we're going to let y'all run everything that we got. And we're going to bring in a lot of people here, and they're going to fill our factories to be our employees. And we want you all to be in charge of that. Make sure that these factories and make sure that the SOPs are followed. And make sure that the OSHA laws are enforced. And make sure all of this, that was supposed to have been the real way to break bread and still make us earn it. But you will still instead bring people here who you have taught to see life your way. And what will happen real soon, a lot of those people are the same people that you previously crossed. You really think they got your back? You really think if another war popped off, and white people were needed, you really think you're going to make black folks go and join the army now? You're going to make black people fight a war for you when people don't even fight for us to even have rights? We still asking for civil rights even now to this day. We're still doing the I have a dream shit right now to this day. Dr. King might as well been speaking about what this kid did or what this man or whatever y'all want to call it.
Bitch.
That bitch.
That bitch.
We still talking about groups of these Negroes still getting killed. Don't matter. People ain't gonna lose no sleep. Ain't nobody really putting up no fuss. You got the preachers and you got fake ass Al Sharpton and all of these folk who want to come out just so they can get a little TV time.
What do you think it's really going to take to change this shit?
Man, you know what? It's gonna take black people pulling away from society. It's gonna take black people, man, relegating themselves to themselves. It's gonna take us to just fuck with each other to make people wonder what we doing. That's what it will take. Since we cannot sit here and see, we can't speak of individual accounts. We're speaking collectively.
I'm gonna ask you. Okay, so all right, so
the moment that black people get their own MBA or get their own professional anything, the moment that these people start opening up their own distribution centers, the moment that they own their own grocery stores, they own their own everything, then you will see the reality. But see, they don't want that because that was the purpose of bombing up all of these different places and burying these black towns underneath all of these lakes. So we don't want to talk about the real history. They want the makeup on the history of white bread, and I've been telling you.
Whitewashing history from the start.
And guess what? It don't matter. I can't. I'm only one person, man. I can't change the game like that. All I can do
What do you think would be the most effective way to honestly, all of these neighborhoods that we talked about that have been left behind, like the same crime, we talked about this before, crime rates, and the same crime rates exist in these cities that have been there from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You go back and you look at the same.
You know why the only reason why that they still look the same is because they just removed people from where they were living. They didn't have a plan, so they're not going to reinvest money into an area where these people are infested because most homeless people are black people.
Well, the problem is there's money. People aren't going to, the people who have the money to invest and improve a community, they're not going to invest into an area that's a high crime rate.
I tell you one thing.
So the problem
if I don't care if it fell on the state or if it fell on the state and the government, but like some of those same places, like they have these abandoned, dilapidated buildings and homes.
Yeah.
Hey, if you had some of these people, they write shit off on taxes anyway. If you had like all of your lumber places here in the U.S., hey, all you all do is donate the tools. These black people really care. You give them the tools. If they want a house, let them build them a house. Let them build up that area, and once they get it going, then they can be able to pay taxes.
But who's gonna? But the funding has to come from somewhere.
We just got through. You made a good point. How much money did they say that they charge a year to house an inmate?
$37,000.
$37,000. But they in jail for a $200-$300 a petty crime. Yeah, money like that. That's just going here. You know, all of this other mystery money, man. But these states get good money, especially when they keep folks' state tax returns. You know, it's plenty of money out here. Yeah. This is one thing that I would say: if we are in the richest fucking nation,
that's debatable, but yeah.
If we are in the most, people in the U.S. have way more freedoms and luxury than anybody else.
Oh, yeah, no.
So that makes you rich when you factor in everything that really encompasses you living here.
Yes.
Okay? So if this is the richest place, everybody somewhere wants to come to America, especially if they white.
Not all white people.
Most of them do. They may not want to come here to stay, but they want to come.
From the countries that are worse off than us, yes.
Everywhere else, for the most part, outside of American surrounding areas are pretty much worse off.
That's
maybe Dubai is a exception. The same way Johannesburg is an exception. You know, you have certain spots, tourist destinations.
No, I'm just talking about.
You can go pretty much everywhere here, state to state, and they have major attractions. You understand?
This isn't the greatest place to live as just a person.
Depending upon who you ask, I guess. You know what I'm saying, white bread?
It depends. Well, there's a lot of places where they have a lot more. The government actually takes care of the people who live there.
Yeah,
a lot better than the United States does, because the United States government doesn't do shit to protect anybody. They didn't do anything. They didn't do shit.
Well, we're going to see how they're going to do this young kid, this young dude, that bitch, whatever you call him. Yeah, we're going to see how this good old government do him. We're going to see. Because if I asked you right now, you said that he deserves the death penalty, right?
Yeah, well, they don't have the death penalty in New York. But yeah, I think he deserves.
They don't have the death penalty in New York?
He's going to get life without, he said the maximum sentence would be life without parole.
So do you believe that he should see the sun or be able to see the streets within the rest of our natural life? The rest of your kids' natural life?
I think he needs to serve hard time for the rest of his life and should never get out of jail ever. But I don't think that we should pay. He's young. So what if he lives to be
95,
75, 80 years old? They're going to have to jail him for 60 years at $40,000 a year, and he's in New York where it's $60,000 a year. That's fucking $3.6 million to house this dude because he wanted to murder 10 fucking people. Is it really worth $3.6 million to house this guy in jail for fucking 60 years?
That's a good question there, White Bread.
I don't know.
That's a good question, White Bread. Is it really worth it?
I mean, should there be a time when you commit such a crime where it's just an automatic, you get a federal crime, and you can federally get put to death.
So I asked this question in just for some of our viewers, White Bread. So if all of this injustice that we're speaking of is going on, and let's just say
it's happening,
and let's just say that we have a select group of Negroes everywhere, state by state, who all seem to feel the same way now.
Straight white males are the only people not getting fucked with right now.
So I asked this question. What do you presume to be the acceptable way for these people to put their foot down and stand their ground?
Who are we speaking of now?
Those group, yeah. Speaking of them black people.
What do I think would change?
No. What do you feel is we already know that black people are fed up with all of this killing us nonstop and ain't shit being done, okay?
Yep.
We constantly get fed this narrative. So let's just say you got some people who say, I'm sick of this shit. It's on from here on out. So in that context of it's on, what's the best way you feel that black person should stand up for him or herself to make sure that they're not caught in this mix or caught up in the crossfire?
I don't know if there is like one thing that can happen. I mean,
just lay it on us.
I mean, honestly, everything would have to change. I mean, like you said, that's why they don't want to talk about critical race theory. Like they think like the critical race theory is like this monster that was created by like the Democrats that's sent out. It's like this mythical beast that's here to like destroy society and everything that they know. That's not what it is. It's a study about systemic racism. That's what critical race theory is. It's a college class.
Right.
They're talking about all this shit being in like elementary education level and whatever. I don't. That's all bullshit. This is all about control and fear. They need to scare white people into giving them money so they can continue to campaign and be in the positions of power that they're in, so they can influence policies and keep passing bills that are going to keep black people.
Mm-hmm. Say it for what it is.
Down. I mean, that's basically.
I hope y'all listening, y'all.
I mean, there's really nothing else to say. I mean, the
so for all of us killing each other in the hood, man,
that's gotta stop.
We got to get on code with each other, man. I
think that there needs to be a mutual respect.
If you done fell out over some petty ass money, cause most of us who really from the hood, we ain't had no real money, man. We ain't had no real fucking bread, man. Right. We been slick broke all our fucking life. Yeah. We've been getting by just making it all our life. So for every youngin', for every middle-aged, older, whatever you call yourself, real nigga, man, we got to let it go, baby. Everybody can't be against us. And when I say everybody, that includes each other. We got enough people who don't like us. It's not all white people. You see me in White Bread rocking. I can go sit at anybody that White Bread cool with home and be treated just like a man, and be treated just like family, with respect, with dignity.
Because people know I don't fuck with that shit.
And guess what? It's a lot more of them out there just like White Bread around you.
I shared a video of a TikToker earlier. I don't know if you saw it, but of this Lyft driver who just picked up this woman and this guy, and the chick opened the door and she's like, "Oh, look, it's a white person. At least he'll speak. At least he knows how to speak English," or some shit like that. She says some racist shit, and the guy's like, "Excuse me?" Like he was like, "Excuse me." Now it's all on video. He's got a camera facing himself, peering back towards the car, like most Lyft drivers do. They tape everything, right? So he's got it on camera. He tells the bitch to get out of the car. "Nah, I'm not taking your ride." He's like, "That's horrible, what you just said. Now, what if this was somebody who was not white? What would you be saying about them in the back seat?" He's like, "Get the fuck out of my car." He's like, "I'm not taking you." And her fucking husband or whatever was like, What? You're not going to take us?" And he's like, "No. She just said some shit. No. Get out of my car." And he's like, "Oh, you're a fucking asshole. I should punch you in the face." He's like, "Oh, so you're threatening me now. Now I'm going to call the cops." So the guy called the cop, the dude, when he's shutting the door, slamming the door, fucking N-word lover, Right out, right?
Hey, everything come back to them, though. Even though it didn't have nothing to do with us.
Man, it's all that hate.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I tell you what.
For what?
Hold up. I'm going to pose this question. For all of my white people who watch this, thank you, first and foremost. Share this video. Hopefully it may help somebody. But if I ask this question, what in the world, what in the blue hell, to quote The Rock, what has happened to make white people preach it to their kids, their grandkids, and everybody else hate for one group of people? What has those group of people as a group, not individual, as a group, what have they ever done? Ever? I would love to hear your feedback. What has this group ever done to white people as a whole to make white people preach a doctrine and write philosophies of hate towards a group of people? What? Care? Because I'm flabbergasted over here just trying to even comprehend. What is it? What? You came here. Go ahead, white bro. I see a hand up in the classroom.
We talked about this before. We talked about how many slaves there were in this country and how many they actually brought over on boats. There's a big difference in numbers in the number that they brought over here on boats and the amount of slaves that were in this country. And you ask, what have you guys ever done to white people? Why is this still being taught? Because this isn't ancient history. Remember the Titans happened in 1971? My mother was 18 years old in 1971. I think she was a senior in high school. So when people that are my mother's age and your mother's age were in high school, they were going through Remember the Titans times. People think it's so long ago.
But see, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this right here, boss. You know, at that time in Memphis, and I done got so many good stories about it. At that time in Memphis, man, and this ain't just in Memphis, it was where you at too. All of your major cities were ran and controlled by them Negroes, bro. Everywhere black people made hip, that was the place to be. Beale Street was not for white people back in the day, brother. Beale Street had your courthouse down there. You had a Goldsmith's. Goldsmith is now Macy's for y'all who ain't never seen Goldsmith. In Memphis. Right now, okay. You know, you had a bunch of your housing developments, Hirsch Village and all of these different places, Scutterfield, and all of these places were up and running. People were living, you know, and as they wanted to gentrify, they kept taking without giving people shit. Everywhere, not just in Tennessee. That's up here in Charlotte. That's up there in Raleigh. That's up there in Boston. That's up there in Philly. That's up there in Detroit. That's up there everywhere. It's a shame. I just told you what should have happened, white bread, to be able to kind of, the playing field can never be leveled. Too much has been taken and little has been returned. So the playing field can never be leveled. Now, since it's all about fear, white bread, since it's all based about fear, scared that they're gonna I need control. To put a thought in your head to tell you something. My great grandmother lived to be 100, almost 101. And I asked her on camera, what can you tell the people to help them live to be able to hopefully get as old as you are, Granny? Charity Louisiana King Maples. That was her name. You know what she told me? She said, well, if I had to say anything, I would say you got to treat enough people right. I'm going to leave you with that right there, y'all, who watch this video. You got to treat enough people right if you expect things to go right in your life. I don't give a damn how you look at it. Yeah, just because you don't like somebody don't mean that a person deserves to die. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean a person deserves to die. Okay? Everything does not constitute a pistol and death. And if you that damn tough, why you need a gun? If you that damn tough, why you need a damn gun for everything? What you said? Somebody threw a baseball and it cracked your windshield. Now let me go grab that pistol, man. These kids got me fucked up. You ready to go kill the kids for being kids, and it was just unfortunate. Somebody hit a home run for once when they been getting struck out every day at the plate, and they hit a home run and it crack your windshield, and you go take a kid's life.
Is this like a situation that actually happened, or just like hypothetical?
This is a hypothetical.
Okay. But people do fucking overreact about dumb shit like that.
That's what I'm saying, white bread. We got to get up after TV.
You said it yourself. People in Memphis who were struggling, who were in survival mode, will shoot you over $20.
Man, don't play. They're not owe me. We got beef. On a poor person makes you a op. If you owe a poor person money, that makes you a op to them. Cause you opposing me eating. I got to eat another wish sandwich. I wish I had some meat on that motherfucker. You know, I'm around here, man, eating salt soup, sugar sandwiches still, homemade pizzas. When I say homemade, I mean a slice of bread, some tomato paste, and cut up a hot dog with some shredded cheese. Homemade pizza. That's what poor folk do, man. That's what broke motherfuckers do, man. I saw one episode of Meet the Browns. I think that was on Meet the Browns. They was like, man, we hungry. Ain't nothing up in here. Mr. Brown came up inside the joint. They had 2 cans of a canned good. He sat it on the counter and said, baby, go and work your magic and make a meal. Because that's what black folk have to do. We have to work magic to live, man. I don't give a damn what the TV show you or what the fake-ass motherfucking spokespeople for the black community. They don't give a shit about them black folks in the community. If their ass ain't eating at the same steakhouse with them, if they ain't riding $200,000 cars like them, if their ass ain't living in the same gated community, they don't fuck with them. And that go for everybody else. They don't fuck with us. So here's to the people who don't fuck with us. Then keep your ass where you at. Stop even speaking on us. Because all you doing is pushing the motherfucker further and further back. Because you got a seat up here, or you done finally built you a little piece of motherfucking bus, you won't even offer your own kind of seat. Then fuck you. I hope it helps you out in the long run. All I ask is for them hateful white people. I wish nothing but life on you, man. Because I hope that you do get humbled at some point.
Well, that's why I said we need to change.
I'm going to pose a question to you, white bread. So in your honest opinion, for those same old hateful ass racist white people, man, who want all black people exterminated above all costs, they'll spare no expense to see harm done to a Negro. Let's just say that these same people took sick.
Yep.
And the only people who were able to help them were them Negroes.
How would that be possible?
This is hypothetical. I just need you to role play with me.
Go ahead.
Some mysterious shit popped up. You took sick. Only black people do the CNA now. Only black, you need a blood transfusion, and only this black woman within 2,000 miles of you or 800 miles of you matches your blood type. Is race gonna matter then? Or do you want that woman to help save your life? But my question to you, white bread, is should those black people feel inclined to help those white people after all of the shit that they've done or help perpetrate against them as a group?
Well, I don't know, because I've never been under the theory that 2 wrongs do anything but cause more wrong.
Right.
So like someone's gotta do something right before things will change. People just keep doing wrong. Well, that's just a vicious cycle of wrong. That's never gonna change anything. What I'm saying is, I said before, we need to vote.
If that white person needed my kidney, and this white person is on tape and on record preaching, kill them, Kill them all. They ain't shit. Blah, 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 blah.
There's nothing saying that you have to give them.
I didn't say that they had to, but if that same black person was a loving, caring being, because whether people want to believe it or not, black people are the most lovingest people on this planet. That's my opinion, and that's fine.
It would come down to personal choice. Like I would tell you about a story about my friend Jared. You know that kid Jared that I know?
Yeah.
From Florida. All right, he's half black, half white. Right. He grew up his in-laws, his wife's family, they are racist motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. They popped off to him multiple times, but they won't fuck with him because
he know jujitsu.
He'll fuck you.
He know jujitsu. That's why
he will fuck you up. So Jared was telling me that he went to a restaurant one night. Him and his wife and his kid. Now he's married to a white girl. They got a little mixed baby, beautiful girl. Right? They went to a restaurant. It was like a hibachi place.
Mm-hmm.
White couple older white couple was sitting next to him. Was sitting there already. They came in. They sat down. The old people asked to be moved. To the seat to be moved. Right?
Yeah.
So Jared was like, "What the fuck's that moving?" So then Jared goes, in again. Like Jared knew the game was being played and was like, "All right, fuck these motherfuckers." So Jared kills people with kindness. So that's the same thing. He went and he moved his seat next to them again. He asked to be moved into the other room. Went to the other room that people asked to be moved again. This is twice now. Person asked to be moved. So after the second time the guy asked to be moved, you know what Jared did? He didn't say shit to him. He walked up to the front. He said, "Those two people right there, yo, I want to pay for their dinner. But I want you to tell him that I paid for his dinner. I want you to make sure that he knows that the same black man that he was discriminating against, wanting to move his seat twice, paid for his dinner. And I want you to tell him to smile. And tell him that I was smiling the whole time that I paid for it." Because Jared doesn't buy into Jared decides to, like I said, somebody's got to do something right. And maybe Jared buying that guy's meal, maybe that changed his opinion about black people. I don't know.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Yeah. But there's always a chance when a good deed is done that maybe it'll change somebody's mind.
All you can do to white people, from my point of view, is plant a seed. You have to plant a seed with white people, especially any kind of way we have to interact. There's whatever reason that puts us in a position where we have to communicate. You have to plant a seed first, and that goes both ways, actually. You know, you have to show a person who you are, then bag back and see if this is for that person and see if it's for you. You know, just because we want things to work or we want people to be cool with each other, that don't mean that they actually mix.
No,
because energy is real. All I ask is that if you know, see, that's why it's so hard for the younger white population to grow up with that bullshit. Even though he's young, I'm sure he was probably secluded and kept away from a lot of things and just fed a narrative. Because this computer thing, you got some funny stuff going on. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yep.
I would say it that way. It's a blessing and a curse. It's all about what you seek from this. Because they used to always say, my grandma used to always say, if you go looking for the devil, you just might find it.
Yeah.
And some people actually get up and they go looking because in their mind, they ain't got shit else going for themselves.
Listen, you got basically tied to this problem, right? We got multiple problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is we said we were going to talk about problems, solutions, right? We've been trying to come up with a solution that would work. But the problem is like you said, and you got a great point. Black people, if they want to change the game, they need to just stop fucking with each other.
That's it.
I think that would be the way to show we don't need you. But it's the problem is when go down to, like, you go to Memphis, you go to your old neighborhood. What type of businesses are there?
Same type of
shops.
Yeah, same type of businesses here. Yeah.
Convenience stores, corner stores,
grocery stores, strip
gas
malls,
stations, little strip malls,
all that.
smoke shops.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lottery places. They want you to
audio
gamble.
shops.
They want to take
shops.
all your money. As soon as they give it to you, they want to take it back.
Yeah.
So they set up the neighborhood for vices.
Mm-hmm.
Because people who are in survival mode, you go to a vice. So you either go to gambling, you go to drinking, you go to selling things to do your vices. You go down the path of drugs.
You robbing or whatever.
Robbing motherfuckers. It's all for a vice.
But see, that's because it is a systematic thing that has been done
for generations.
Right. And for people,
it started with the whole 40 acres and a mule lie.
People suffer for their lack of knowledge. And the biggest knowledge that my people, we lack is real knowledge of self. We've been told ever since we got here, we fell right out the damn sky and fell right into the cotton field.
That's why I don't like the whole, I wish the whole N-word would go away because
it'll never go away because it universally bonds people. And when other groups use it outside of my group, they use it to show their allegiance to that same group that you were speaking on. When you spoke of your white supremacists.
Well, the word was used by white people to basically declassify black people as a human being. They wanted to just treat black people like livestock because it justified what they were doing. So they use that word.
All I know, if y'all, I enjoy y'all seeing me, these folk play for keeps, man. It take nuts and guts to get up here and say what we say, man. So y'all please, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you can get these episodes. It's real like that from the Wheat and White Bread, baby. Yeah. We keep it 100 regardless of what it is. Shout out to everybody. Especially shout out to my co-host up on this thing, man. White Bread, man, you the best, boss. Because a lot of white people want to talk about it. A lot of white people speak in private about these things. Yep. Will never go public about these things, but they really do care. Yep. And it's just a shame that the quid pro quo is so strong that they will alter their self-worth or their dignity just to make sure that they don't have nothing to do with it. I just don't want them black folks to overreact because, like I said, White Bread just agreed with me. They show this because they want black people to pop off. We don't have a community to burn down anymore. So if you get fed up, you're burning down other people's businesses. You're burning down other people's property, which makes you a criminal. Mm-hmm.
I'll make you a criminal whether they're black or not.
Right, but I'm speaking of just from my side of the track. If black people got so fed up and, ain't no more burning down downtown Detroit or downtown Charlotte unless you really... They're going to send in the riot squad for your ass because you tearing up shit that don't belong to you. But as long as it was your house you was burning, your clothes you was burning, your car that you was burning, or your shed or your barn or whatever you burning because you're letting off your frustration, hey, we don't have that anymore. We have to let go. If you're that angry, then you need to ask your brother man, your sister man, talk in person. You don't have to go on this thing. When I can look up and hear Chance the Rapper put on his Twitter, he said, I don't know what's going to need to be done. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. He was like, but black people need to, man, we first got to start with talking to each other. You don't have to go online to talk about what you want to do or if you want to organize or where you're going to organize. Speak to each other in person. Man, we need to let that bullshit go. And we need to rock. And we need to rock with each other. We are stronger in numbers.
You attract a lot more bees with honey. And I think the main problem here is that you have a lot of politicians. So listen, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have Paul Gosar, you have politicians attending things that are run by white nationalists. They went to a white nationalist event and spoke. These are sitting members of Congress.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That's a problem, man.
That's a fucking problem. Why are these people still in Congress to start?
But
you should have been immediately
if that's not a problem, But when Obama was in office, they ridiculed the man because his preacher made some statements.
Oh, yeah, but that's...
I'm just saying. So if you...
They're grasping
to me,
they said he wasn't a U.S.
to me,
citizen either. So.
Hey, but what I'm saying that to say, I'm not worried about, I'm just saying, if it was that serious to go at a sitting president over something his preacher said, then you mean to tell me you won't hold people accountable for a choice that they made to do in a place that they attended? You got on Robert Kraft for going to the goddamn massage parlor. I'm just saying though, if it's that serious.
Hold on. I'll say this like I said this when it happened. Breaking news.
Yeah.
A billionaire widow went to an Asian massage parlor. Whoa, surprising.
Mm-hmm.
The dude's wife passed away from cancer. Right? He was faithful to his wife for the entire time they were married. They had a beautiful marriage. She passed away. The dude went to a massage parlor. Who cares? They made a big deal out of it because he's the owner of a sports team.
Right.
Bottom line, he's a man.
They tried to act like he was soliciting the prostitution. This man's a fucking billionaire. He don't have to solicit to a prostitute. I could buy your wife. I could buy a couple of y'all boy wives. Play with me.
But I think that the first, I think to solve some of these problems, like we just talked about really what this is wrapped up in a lot of things. Like the racism, the misinformation, the propaganda, this great replacement theory, this white fragility, it leads to things like this.
Yeah.
And the way that we can change it is by holding people accountable for their actions. Like not just the lobbyists who are keeping, like this kid, 18 years old, how did nobody warn anybody about his behavior? I heard that he's been spouting this shit off for years.
Man, he had already wrote some stuff about this shit, man.
I know, and they didn't fucking do anything.
And you didn't take him serious? Let me write a note and say, I want to go and kill a group of people like this or this particular group. If these people got this in common, I want to kill them. Man, guess what they going to do? They going to find a charge for me, man, whether it's communicating threats or something. They're going to find a charge for me so that way I can be stopped before I go off. I ain't got to worry about me. I'm going to be here because I want to be able to sit here and be a scribe to write down the history as it happened. Because people need the truth. That's why the wheat and white bread is in the mix, man. Yep. You know, we popping out of the toaster every day with something different. And it's going to always be hot. It's going to always be fresh. You know, shout out to the families, man. We mourn with you all. We stand in solidarity with you all. You know,
everybody who's, I mean, there's been
everybody who was affected. Everyone who's affected. Even the boy, the man who did the shooting. I won't wish death on you, man. You heard me? But you do got to give an account for what you did. They can't sit here and play the crazy role for you. You drove 200 plus miles, boy. You put on body armor and everything,
premeditated
man.
Murder.
That's premeditated, man.
10 premeditated murders.
You know, you got bodies just laid out. Then guess what, fam? You got to give an account for that, man. That shit coming right back. You know? And it's just unfortunate that you made a dumb decision, man. But you ain't the only one. You ain't the first one. And won't be the last. People make dumb decisions every day. People have crazy thoughts, stupid thoughts every day. But when you say you're a man or you're a woman, that means that you are in control of what your final decision will be.
Well, I think if they held some of these politicians and these news broadcasters that are spouting this,
if we gonna preach vote, then I tell you what, we need to get a breath of fresh air, brand new across the board, everywhere. They go from state level all the way to federal. A lot of these people should have been retired. They should have been taking their millions and millions and got their ass out the way, but greed has kept them there. And with their greed, that has made them sell people out left and right. That has made people become numb.
I don't understand why people trust politicians.
That has made people become numb to what they see, to what they hear and to what they say. And when you feel like you're talking to a bunch of sheeple, I can tell you what I want to tell you. What you gonna do about it? You know, I tell you what you can do about it. Get their ass out of office.
Vote.
Especially in your local election.
Listen, Marjorie, this is what would change things. Honestly, if the United States government held their own accountable, like if this Marjorie Taylor Greene and this Paul Gosar, they attended this white supremacist event held by Devin Nunes, who I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life. This guy is a race baiting fucking sack of skin.
Right.
Sack of skin. This guy doesn't deserve a fucking heartbeat. Sack of skin. All right. Sack of skin. All right. And I hope this gets to him because I want him to know that I think he's a fucking useless piece of shit. All right. And these two members of Congress, you the elected officials, speaking at one of his events. This guy's a white supremacist. Openly.
Mm-hmm.
No shame in his fucking game.
Never is white.
And you got members of Congress attending events and speaking, and then not losing their elected positions immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. White supremacy is the root of all the evil in this fucking country. It's what started it all, and it's just continued on.
I think is more so the thought of white supremacy. You know, I think it's more so just the illusion. Like how David Copperfield, everybody felt like he was this great escape artist because he was able to put on the illusion.
Distraction.
And distract your visual cortex to see one thing,
when he's
you know, but it's really this thing. You know, we have to learn to see a Trojan horse when it comes. Like Black Lives Matter. I said it. I don't fuck with them.
Why?
Keep buying your mentions. Because nothing that Black Lives Matter stand for has trickled down to help my people for that cause.
Well,
they ain't done. Them folks.
Organizer.
Them folks did exactly what they did. They accepted gifts on the behalf of the fucking atrocities, on behalf of the pain, on behalf of the suffering that these black people go through everywhere. You haven't opened up no schools. You haven't done anything. You've taken in way more
money like that.
They have generated money like that. Look up Black Lives.
How much to build a school?
I'm sure you do away with 3-4 of them $7-8 million mansions. They have a good down payment on one.
How much do you think it cost?
Depending on what kind of school you want, Jay. White bread.
Mooresville's building a new middle school. How much do you think it cost?
I don't know. What, about 2-3 million?
60 million.
Oh, okay. They got that. They got that. Black Lives Matter got that money in their account. They got well over 60 million. Them folks.
That's one school.
Hey, I'm just saying.
That's just to build it.
All I'm saying is, you are being technical, white bread.
No, I'm saying is,
I'm telling you, for the amount of money that these people have taken in on the backs of these dead people, these people who've been assaulted, these black folks, them folks ain't done shit for them black folks. They ain't opened up no grocery stores, no nothing. Nothing.
But they don't have... Right. They don't have enough money to open up a grocery store, man. You know how much it costs to
you don't have... When you're trying to... You are thinking... We ain't talking about white people grocery store, white bread.
I'm talking about any grocery store.
You can open up a regular... How much you think it costs to build a two-place strip mall, white bread?
Honestly,
we'll put a barbershop and a gas station right there. How much would it cost? Not even a gas station you can walk in. You can just pull up. It's gas pumps. You can pay. You can get some cigarettes, gum, and candy right there, and that's it. How much do you think that costs?
All total?
Ballpark it.
10 to 15 mil.
All right, 10 to 15 mil.
That's
so let's just say,
yeah,
and so let's just say for all of the people, like, you know, since it's ran by George Soros, this shit ran by billionaires. If you care so much, then shit, we should see shit popping up everywhere. But that's for a whole nother topic, man. I'm just saying, you know, for these people to buy $1 million mansions for their own leisure, you know, they ain't talking about the CEOs of Black Lives Matter, those women who run it. They took that money buying mansions. They bought mansions, big mansions, made the news, everything about it. You know? Yeah. These folk buying real estate with all that money, man. These folk, man, living their best life. They ain't look back. That's why your boy mama came out and said, stop using my son's name for anything. Because you haven't gave my family one dime. And you've received millions from the NBA, the NFL. Everybody has donated money to Black Lives Matter. These folks ain't talking about shit. My life matter and your life matter.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
And to everybody who come in contact with me, your life matters, man. Yeah. And if I come in contact with you, my life should matter to you, because guess what? We living. If we was filthy rich, we wouldn't bump into each other. If one was filthy rich and the other wasn't. I'm sorry. I don't meet people in Bentleys and in Lamborghinis and stuff like that too often. You know, can't afford that atmosphere. That's some expensive company to keep, and I can't afford it. So I act my wage. Believe that. You know, I stay in my lane. I treat people with respect. I respect the law. I respect my people. I respect the family. I respect my everything around me, as long as I'm allowed to respect it. If I'm not allowed to respect it, then you might see that N-word that you always call me. But even then, I ain't gonna go there with you, because cooler heads prevail, and I know that I'll beat you in the long run.
Well, I think what I'm gonna say, my opinion on this whole matter is that
we need to fuck with each other. My solution before we wrap this up, my solution to this, black folk, we got to rock with each other. Us first. Yeah. Us first. Us first. That go for the athletes. That go for the entertainers. That go for the doctors. That go for the scientists. That go for everybody who look like me, who really come from these inner cities and come from these hoods and these ghettos, man. We got to rock with each other. You can't keep looking at your folks like, oh, well, he should have did something and got his ass, and he can't. She can't. The pressure is too fucking heavy, and everybody ain't built like you. A lot of your people need help. If shit hit the fan and these folks fuck the world on up even more, and then guess what? Your people really out here starving, and you got $60, $70 million a piece, and your people can't even get a bologna sandwich. That's a problem. That's a problem. What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul, man? You got to love your people first. The same way the Asians spend money with each other, the Hispanics spend money with each other. White people don't really have to spend money. They just make money and collect money. But when they do, they spend money with each other. We got to do the same shit, man. Right. We got to do the same shit. So if you are a fashion designer, if you a chef, if you a businessman, a businesswoman, whatever, we need to find a way for us to be able to link, so we can be able to formulate and be able to put together some plans for some of our people who do have money, who don't mind opening up businesses, taking their percentage of the business, but they are allowing us to be able to better our people. That's what we need. We don't need the government for that. I mean that. We don't. And that's the problem. We got to come up off this dependence of feeling like that the white man ain't gonna give a motherfucker something, because they ain't gonna give you nothing. Not as a group. Collectively now. You know, I'm just being 100. Me and White Bread talk about this all the time. Don't we, White Bread? Yeah. They ain't gonna give us nothing collective. You waiting on reparations? My great-grandmama died waiting on her. Cherokee Malagasy. You know, they so busy keeping us against each other and smoking kush, sipping on every different type of liquor. We be too drunk, too high to be able to pay attention to anything. That's got to come down a notch. It's okay to enjoy yourself, but you always got to keep a level head, folks. Yeah. You know, this is my solution. We got to start with detoxing our mind. We got to let go of the hate in your heart. We got to be able to talk to each other. Because guess what? He might drive a better looking car. But he might be check to check paying for that motherfucker.
Absolutely.
Fucked up and broke. Need gas money to even put up in there. Yep. You know, this is the only thing give his life a little purpose because he got a car on 20s. Yep. You just never know. We got to stop judging, man. We got to keep it real, man. If you're really from the hood supposed to be understood, man. I'm trying to tell you. If you're from the suburbs, the burbs supposed to be the word from folks from the burbs. You from the county? Hey, county is what it is.
Well, I think the best thing to happen would be for all white people who, like you said, cool white people.
Mm-hmm. You're cool.
To have zero tolerance for racial
injustice,
discriminations.
Yeah.
If you see something just like that guy, that fucking Lyft driver, he noticed that person was a fucking racist piece of shit and said, "No, ma'am, I refuse to drive you. I'm not driving you the way you gotta go. You can get another fucking. You take a bike, you can walk, do whatever the fuck you want to do, but I'm not fucking with you." And that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take society to stop fucking with people who are about the business, of systemic racism. That's what it's gonna do. Everybody needs to change.
Everybody.
Not just
we all do. Me too. White bread too. We all do. Yeah. We all got to learn to love a little bit more.
A little bit more. Everyone can improve themselves every day.
Yeah.
No one's a complete. Your story's not complete until you're in the ground.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And if people live their life how they want to be treated, if this country started treating all of their citizens like they treat straight white males, this place would be a great place to live. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if everybody was treated like me, straight white male, not going to get my rights fucked with, I don't got to worry about this shit. I don't got to worry about anti-LGBTQ laws. I don't got to worry about anti-abortion laws. I don't got to worry about racism. I don't got to worry about this shit. I never have. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I'm a straight white male.
Yeah.
Living in the United States. And what is white?
What is
this before? What the fuck is white?
What is white?
Where is the country white? Where is white? Where is black? Where are these countries? Because as far as I'm concerned, you're an American. If you're from America, if you're from the United States, you're an American. If you're from Germany, you're German. If you're from France, you're
French.
You're French. Every other country besides the United States, you're not white French. You're not black French. You're just French.
That's it.
You come from one of these other countries. You're a citizen of that country.
And once you learn, just if you grown and you tell people I'm grown, I can think how I want to think, yeah, you can. But guess what? You're running into other grown people, man. It's okay to respect each other. Yeah. It's okay to
people who have life experience can sniff out bullshit easily too.
Yeah. You know,
a lot of these motherfuckers out here don't even have one bit of life experience, and they're in leadership roles. You think Tom Cotton has ever had any diversity in his life?
Well, you hate that Tom Cotton, but
I hate that son of a bitch.
Fuck you, Tom Cotton.
You think Josh fucking Hawley has ever had lived paycheck to paycheck?
Probably don't even know what a check stub look like. Actually,
these overprivileged fucking entitled motherfuckers. They need to understand who the boss is. The boss in this country is we the people.
He said we the people.
We the people.
We the people. Fucking country. That means all of us.
And they forgot it. They take that big corporation money and they forget about the people who put them in
big corp, big pharma,
lobbying money, lobbying dollars. That's another problem that we're going to talk about. This is the first part of this fucking.
Right.
We got many more problems
right.
and solutions to talk about.
Right.
We just long-winded about this because we're both passionate about it.
I just ask people, white, black, whatever, because I don't even include the other ethnic groups right now because this country has been white and black ever since I've been living. You know, only the 2000s when they want to push this people of color thing. But, you know, don't go away from what you used all of a sudden to get the upper hand now that you got everything that you wanted. You still got to set these Negroes straight, man. And the white folks who run this country know that. But a lot of them I could go on, but a lot of them are hell-bent on sticking to what their granddaddies and great-granddaddies told them. Yeah, white bread went all the way in on it.
1971. Everyone who watched Remember the Titans. That's true events. True events. Fighting to segregate schools. Fighting for black kids to play on the same football team as white. This was a beef there was people down at the fucking school ready to kill people because you had black kids and white kids riding on the same buses.
And you know,
ready to murder somebody because their little white fragile cracker had to ride on the bus with someone who didn't look exactly like them. Fucking punk motherfuckers.
All I can say, what have I been telling you, white bread? I said only white people can bring about the change that's really needed. I'm gonna be real.
I use that Lyft driver as a perfect example. You gotta call it out and not accept it. Fuck you.
Hey, you heard white bread say call it out.
Call it out. It is unacceptable. You want to Memphis will tell you no one's gonna spit that shit in my presence. They're gonna hear about it. Yeah. They're gonna hear about it.
I can't keep that silver back on the chain, y'all. You know, he get mad. I'm getting out the way, and if you see me move, you might want to head in my direction. Cause if you in the gun line, I don't Hulk smash is all I can tell you.
It's not, Hulk, but it doesn't because I put it to bed quick. I call people out quickly. Yo, what did you just say? Oh, that shit ain't cool around here, bro, fella.
All I can say, man, all bullshit to the side before we go white bread.
Yeah.
For the white people who do watch this, man, we don't really know what to do as a group. You know, we've been so conditioned to just get numb to seeing us get harmed and get hurt like it's...
We've been conditioned to accept bullshit.
Well, white people...
Low wages.
White people, I'm not speaking... I'm just speaking about the killing.
Oh,
I'm speaking about just us getting killed. You know, we don't know what to do to really stand up because if you fight force with force, then like I said, hey, they got a shitload. They got a shitload of immigrants. They got white people who are here in this country who that's all they need to do is catch wind of it. What? Them niggas about to get ready to do what?
How long do you have to? But I got a question for white people. How long are black people supposed to try to peacefully protest to make a change?
Right.
Before they're like, fuck that. We're not peacefully protesting anymore. This is bullshit and it's going to end.
That's a great fucking question.
How long? I mean, I've been watching peaceful protests go on for as long as I've been alive. I'm going to be 46 years old next month. How many peaceful protests do you have to try to change the narrative? You say we can peacefully protest in this country. But if it doesn't change anything, then what is the purpose? What is the purpose if it doesn't change the narrative?
We pump faking.
That's it.
We got to hold our dollars. You know, if you want to target, since these major corporations pay to keep shit structured one way, then we got to start picking what major corporation we want to put on life support this week.
Stop fucking with them.
If that's the case, because it's a shame. Even, you know, and I even go as far to say, you push an animal in a corner and beat an animal so long, don't ever be surprised when that animal attacks.
Eventually, that's
human nature.
That's how you got the video. You ever see that video with those guys? They had that tiger chained to a tree, and they had these long sticks, and they were beating this fucking tiger with these sticks, these long sticks. They had the thing chained to a tree. The motherfucker was pissed. Going up on its back legs. These guys had these long sticks, and they were smacking this fucking tiger. Well, guess what? The fucking chain broke. And I don't need to tell you what fucking happened to those two guys swinging.
I'm about to see that. Send me that way, bro.
I'll tell you, it wasn't pretty. And that's I'm not saying that. I never preach that anyone should get violent or do any kind of violence.
No, we ain't preaching violence. That's why I asked, what do you feel that black people can do?
I honestly, you guys, the black people as a community, as just people living in this country under the conditions that you guys have had to sustain and being peaceful for this long about it. I mean, you saw what white people were doing over the summer when they were talking about masks and a vaccine. They were ready to burn down. They had guys with ARs storm the Michigan fucking State House because they wanted to go to the gym. Come on, man. They're talking about they're being oppressed because they can't go to the gym. They're taking arms and going to the State House because there was they wouldn't open up the gyms during COVID.
All I know is,
what the fuck?
You know, sometimes prayers are answered if they prayed the right way. And,
Black people have the right to bear arms in this country. Why aren't all these people marching Black Lives Matter who have the ability to carry a firearm? Why ain't they got rifles around their fucking necks like all these white boys last year?
Oh, why aren't they up there lobbying for those 10 black people who just got slaughtered at the grocery store? Where they got the money to set up base camp and fund it for a fucking year if they want to.
Yep.
It means nothing because they don't fuck with them folks. They're so disconnected. And that's the problem with a lot of our leadership. You don't need to speak for something that you don't connect to. You need to stay in your lane. If you don't rock with folks from the hood, from the ghetto, because you've got out and you feel like that your life is taking a better turn, then stay in your lane. Don't speak on something that you're not prepared to stand up on and stand up for.
Why don't you think more athletes and just personalities, famous people, don't do
because they threaten
LeBron James does?
Well, see, hold up. Once again, great example. LeBron James built the school, right?
A lot of
up there in Akron. Well, I'm speaking of the first big one that he did.
And funds him every year.
All right. And so once again, like I told you, White Bread, when a black person wants to do something on a grand scale, they got to allow everybody to partake in it. He had to allow Asians, Hispanics, and everybody. He couldn't build that school strictly for them black kids in Akron.
Well, it was
where he grew
in the community.
Yes. It ain't the same community that he had when he grew up. When he grew up, it was just us. I'm saying the same way Marshawn Lynch built homes. Yeah. They wouldn't let him build them in Oakland. He had to go over there to Haiti if he wanted to donate, and he did.
Well, he probably couldn't afford to.
No, in this country, they going to threaten these black folks' pockets. You will not be able to take your wealth and help rebuild a group of people that we have systematically put in a position that we've all agreed to keep them right there.
What about a sports league?
It ain't happening until these folks stop taking the big money. People want the big money. I've been said this a long time ago, and folks said, well, how am I get paid?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a serious question.
What's up, White Bread?
Right now.
What's up, White Bread?
The real money in sports is where? TV.
In TV. In advertising.
Merchandise sales.
In merchandise sales.
Okay? Yes. TV and merchandise sales. You're trying to tell me that there isn't 30 athletes out there that could afford to build a basketball stadium at their home. They couldn't build a basketball court with a limited amount of seats. So you only have, it's very limited, the amount of people who can attend a live game. You want to watch NBA? You want to watch the stars of the NBA. We talked about this before.
And like I told you,
the NBA cannot survive with just Luka Doncic.
Hey,
all right?
Like I told you when we talked about it. They don't want the competition. That's why they all of a sudden said, well, you know what? We're going to start paying the athletes. Then what the NBA said, oh, well, if that's the case, if y'all going to pay them and let them use their likeness in college, then we're going to open up the other smaller leagues to the NBA, like the minor leagues. And we're going to pay them, but I have a big problem, like you just spoke of Luka. Shout out to the Mavs. I have no problem with Luka Doncic, the white boy cold. But I'm going to say this, though, Luka. I got a couple homies who played college ball over here and who was on national TV. Cold as hell, too. He didn't get a chance. They didn't get a chance to go to the NBA. They had to go overseas and take peanuts.
Very small percentage.
Take peanuts. Well, that's fine. I'm only speaking of what I'm not speaking about the percentage, but I'm saying what I'm saying is, and this goes for the white athletes, student athletes that we've had too, who didn't grace the NBA.
Yeah.
How that's a slap in the face when people have made millions off of you doing March Madness. You worked, trained, and developed your mind and your body to be one so you can be a good physical specimen, and you don't even get a shot to be great.
How much money does
But you bring folks from overseas over here, you let people from overseas be owners of the NBA, part owners in these franchises, but we only get one bruh who can be an owner. Oh, because he don't fuck with them folks out the hood either.
Well,
if I had it my way, we'll stop buying Jordans.
But what if? Now this is what we've been doing. We're gonna go down fantasy land for a second. I did it for you earlier. What if? Okay, let's just say the top 50 NBA players of all time that are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all the black top 50 players who are the richest NBA players. We're talking about the guys who went down. All right. What if they did band all their money together and did build remote stadiums and they could convince all the stuff? Because the NBA, the only reason why the NBA is the fucking NBA is because of the players that are on the damn court running up and down the floor, dunking it and banging down 3 balls. There is no product without the fucking players.
You know what they'll do? Once again, like I told you, white people work as a team.
Black people got to work as a team.
Hold up. I'm telling you what, if they did, we say Dr. J and Bill Russell and all of these folks, Julius Erving, and Magic and all of these folks, LeBron, because these folks got real money.
And I'm talking about the NBA players who have real money.
Right, yeah. And but for one, if they were to do it, they're going to keep them off TV. They're going to ban them from playing in their sports arenas. Hold on, because they would ban these folks the same way Ice Cube had to persevere. Because when he started up the Big Three and Amari Stoudemire and all of these folks done retired from the NBA, but the owners of these folks' name still felt entitled to be able to say, well, no, you can't do that. They got to go, how you going to tell me that I can't use my government-issued name?
No, well, they might have still been under contract. But
if I done retired, I'm not under contract.
What if, I'm just saying, going down fantasy land, what if instead of paying players, we gave you stock of the team? So you already have millions of dollars. You're an NBA star. You're set. You got millions. All right. This is the sacrifice for the greater of the people.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take the NBA. We're going to take a sports league that's predominantly dominated by black stars. NFL, NBA, right? Those are the 2 sports that are predominantly dominated by a lot of black stars. The NFL is more like there's a lot of white people who play too, but the NBA in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if all the black stars of the NBA decided to leave and decided to just end their contracts? I'm retiring from the NBA. And they retire from the NBA and their contract is now gone. Mm-hmm. But now they got 15 guys on a team, right? So you get 15 guys on a team and the guys who the stars get, say, 5% of the team, 6% of the team. But you don't get a pay. We're going to build this product. And when the product gets built, that's when you're going to get paid. Like 50 Cent got paid off of vitamin water. We talked about this. 50 Cent got paid $400 million off of vitamin water because he agreed to take a percentage of stock instead of payment. When they were first producing vitamin water, a lot of athletes got paid. David Ortiz got paid. Why? Because they chose to take a percentage. Vitamin water had no money. They were basically offering athletes percentage of stock to promote the company. And when they sold the company, 50 Cent made $400 million off that deal. So if you could get all these black NBA players to band together and say, fuck this, we're all retiring from the NBA. And if you want to watch us play ball, which we know that you do, you got to watch us on our television network. They got enough money to create their own television.
And I ain't going to lie. Like I told you, you could just imagine the number of the white players that's going to tell the NBA,
fuck off too.
I'm going over
and play with them.
I'm not playing with this bullshit.
I'm not playing. Fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm done.
Because
I'm done with making
money. To me, like I told you, White Bread, when they had the lockdown and the COVID was at its height and they had suspended sports and everything.
Yeah.
Shit got real bad, right?
Yeah.
That's because you can use, let me take this up. Sports help hide the reality of life. Because when people watch sports, they can say, oh, well, you see, it's not no racism. You see, they all know how to work together and play together to achieve and win the championship. You know, they're all getting paid to be there. Them folks, a lot of them folks don't interact with each other. I could be surprised that we could be able to get some of these athletes, past or present, to be able to tell how some of these big name athletes really are. Because, what's in you is what you gonna do. I don't care how you try to fix until you want to.
They might be great at playing a sport, but when it comes down to it, they're still all
right. They don't give a, but a lot of people don't give a shit.
But if I'm
when you rich, when you really wealthy, and you look down pretty much on everybody, like how they said Donald Trump looked down on anybody who ain't a billionaire like he is. He ain't hearing what you say.
Donald Trump looks down on everybody.
Exactly. That's what they say. So, imagine the rest of the same people, though, they feel the same way. They just ain't gonna say it because they got too much to lose because they are enjoying making $20, $30 million a year when some people don't make $5,000 a year.
We're going to wrap up this phase of the problems and solutions. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Y'all just love on each other, y'all.
Please like and subscribe if you like the message that we're sending.
Love on each other.
We're a little long-winded here. This is probably going to be multiple parts.
Yeah.
But that's what we're going to do, and we're going to keep on getting at it, and we're going to keep on taping, and we're going to keep on talking, and we're going to keep on trying to make a difference because that's
the wheat and white bread. We always keep some popping hot.
We always try to keep it real, and we try to talk about things that need to be talked about. And this Buffalo shooting, we needed to do a special one.
Y'all do that boy right. Hold them accountable. That's all we ask for, accountability.
Yeah. If they held everybody accountable that has their blood on hands from this fucking thing, that might change something.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like this. I'm going to barely see my hands like that much. We need a lot more of that. And we need a lot more white people calling out other white people for that open
Shout out
racism.
to the good white people,
please.
Shout out to the good white
change
people
comes
everywhere.
from within the community.
Mwah.
Change comes from within. It's going to take all
Shout
of us
out to the good brothers and sisters.
And like and subscribe, and we'll be checking back in soon. When we check back in, who knows, the Celtics might be in the NBA Finals. Who knows?